Yeah, man. If you know how it is, you know how it is. You know where you at. You know who you be. You know who I am. You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna pop through. You just know. You just actually know. If you know, you know. And my dumbass didn't put my phone on silent again. But anyways, you guys are gonna have to deal with that again this week. So, drum rolls. It's the start of season 2. Yeah. It's the start of season 2. And like always, I'm your forever lovely, forever gorgeous, forever pretty, forever beautiful. I'm him. I'm her. I'm them. I'm everyone. I'm just the one. I am Dammy, the creator. And you're back in session. You're back in school. You're back for the back of the class. Sure. And like always, I'm trying to bring bangers. I'm trying to bring good shit. I'm trying to bring entertainment. I'm trying to give vibes. And I'm trying to give looks while eating. Because I be eating. I'm an eater for real. I be eating this shit up. Welcome back. Season 2. Now, before we proceed with today's scheduled program, subscribe to the goddamn channel. Subscribe to the Spotify. I don't really care where you subscribe to. Just go subscribe to the Back of the Class show. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Google Podcasts. Why haven't you subscribed yet? Why are you wasting time? Why are you wasting time? It's giving unsupportive. It's giving you're not supporting black-owned businesses. It's giving you're anti-black. It's just giving enemy of progress. But yeah, go subscribe. Subscribe to whatever platform you listen on. If you're here, I know that you're here because you've been here and you like the shit that I pull through. So why not pull through with a subscription? And also put on the notification bell. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a review. Do whatever you gotta do. If you listen on Spotify or watch on Spotify, because there's video on Spotify as well. If you scroll down to the bottom of like the description, I think I know, like I don't know if it's like at the bottom or the top of the episode description, but if you look in the episode descriptions, I've been doing this on like episode 1. There's always something there for you guys on Spotify. Sometimes it's a question, sometimes it's a poll. So engage with them things. Engage with me and let's communicate, let's talk, let's do whatever. And speaking of communications, follow the socials. Just do it like right now, like this moment, this instant. Follow the socials at Back OT Class Show for on Spotify. Wow, that's embarrassing. I was actually in the zone. But follow at Back OT Class Show on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and follow me as well, my personals, where you'd see me be my pretty boy sway self, LPFJ. If you know, you know. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Dammy_the creator. At Dammy_the creator. Watch me create good looks. And yeah, I'm glammed up today. Not necessarily for the episode, but like I'm just glammed up. Just for whatever. Just for whatever. I'm glammed up. I'm looking pretty for you guys. But that's besides the point. Focus. I actually tried recording this morning. Oh my god, I did. I cannot even try it. I recorded an entire episode this morning, guys. I recorded an entire episode. And because like I do this on my ones, yeah, so like there's literally no one to like monitor the shooting of like, yeah, basically what's happening. So I have to like check it out after I record. And what had happened was the lighting got fucked up mid-episode. One of the cameras was good, but like that camera doesn't like record the whole length of the episode. It only records like 12 minutes ish. And then the actual camera 1, as I call it, that can record the full length of the episode, it like somewhere along the line, because I use natural lighting. I'll be very honest. I use like the sun is my light. I don't have like fancy ass lights. I just use the sun. But essentially, I think the sun must have either come out or hidden behind the cloud. But essentially, what had happened was in the camera, because like I focused pre-recording, so it was like focused already, and all of a sudden well, not the whole video, but like the video got darker. And I couldn't even see my face. I couldn't see the painting. I couldn't see anything. It was just dark. And I was like, wow. The universe wasn't a big fan of what I was recording, apparently. I hope it doesn't happen again, because like I would actually be very sad. I'll actually be very sad. I might actually have a mental breakdown if that happens a second time. But okay, now that I've gotten my rant out of the way, let's get into season 2, episode 1 of the Back of the Class show. Let's go. So what am I going to be talking about? So I woke up this morning and I went on Brent's internet, and I was greeted with one of the not the most shocking thing, but it was like gasp, to be expected, but like also wasn't necessarily expected. And the thing is, allegedly, also trigger warning to everyone at the jump of the episode. Trigger warning, there will be mentions of racism, mentions of sexual harassment, mention of fatphobia. And with all of those trigger warnings, some of you might know where this is going. So, allegedly, Lizzo, the musician, yes, that Lizzo, the exact same one, the icon, Lizzo. Allegedly, Lizzo is anti-black. She is, what's the word? A sex offender. And she is fatphobic. All of this is allegedly. And I say allegedly because what had happened was 3 of her former dancers, 3 of her former employees have initiated a lawsuit against her. And since those 3 former employees initiated the lawsuit, there's also been 2 more former employees who have come out through social media to be like, yes, Lizzo did do that shit, and she did that shit to us as well. And so now there's like 5 people claiming that Lizzo is allegedly all of that. And I think that's very insane. That's very crazy. It's not baffling. I'm not shook. I'm not like surprised. Like I'm not like in awe. But like it's also like very interesting to see someone like Lizzo who's very in the public eye, who's very pro everything. Like she's pro women, pro plus size people, and just generally she's just like someone who encourages people to be who they are in their true selves. But behind closed doors, homegirl is fat shaming her dancers, and that's kind of wild. That's kind of insane. So now let's get into this. Let's dissect this a little bit. So to start off, I think I want to just start off with the heaviest part first. Sexual harassment. That's like a big deal. That's a big thing, and it's not often time that we see women get like sued. That's the word. Get sued, especially women in the public eye. It's not very often that we see people come out against women when it comes to topics like this. And I think it's very interesting that this is happening. And it's also very interesting for me at the very least to observe how the internet is reacting to this. It's just very interesting. But now let's get into what Lizzo allegedly did. So allegedly, Lizzo organizes events. Well, she's a musician, obviously we all know that. But she also has after parties with like her employees. And one of these after parties was at a club in Amsterdam. I think it was a strip club, but like at a strip club in Amsterdam. So now, based on what I've seen, based on what I've read, based on what I've heard, allegedly. So yeah, based on what I've seen, based on what I've read, based on what I've heard, allegedly what had happened was in one of these, in this party in particular, one of these dancers was forced by Lizzo to essentially touch a naked performance titties. Now this person, the former employee, the dancer, she didn't want to do that to the stripper, I assume. And that is fair. That is a fair thing. Like, you're 100%, she was allowed, she was in her right, and she had every single right to like draw that boundary. But apparently Lizzo wasn't happy with her drawing that boundary, and what did Lizzo do? Lizzo started a chant in the club to be like, yeah, like, touch it, and whatever. And like everyone joined in and whatnot. And then this person felt pressure, even though she had consistently and repeatedly said no to Lizzo, she eventually had to give in and touch the titty. And apart from that, that's actually, honestly, guys, I think y'all should actually go read the article, because like, low key, this is like even one of like the lightest things that I saw in the article. Like, it kept getting worse. Like, Lizzo, if everything that's being said against Lizzo is true, Lizzo is an absolutely horrific person, because like, it's like, what? Lizzo did all that to y'all? That's crazy. That's insane. So now back to topic. So like, also on this sexual assault thing that Lizzo allegedly did, she allegedly forced people to like perform sexual acts to bananas. So like, deep throating, bananas in coochie, you heard me, bananas in coochie, and shit like that. Like, apparently Lizzo forced her dancers to do shit like this, and like, that's kind of weird. That's not kind of weird. That is weird. That is spooky, and that is creepy. And it's just absolutely insane that they had to like go through that. And of course, you can say, yeah, but they could have said no. Like I said, they did say no, but Lizzo pressured them. And you have to understand the power dynamic here. Lizzo is not just a celebrity. Lizzo was also their employer. So like, there's different levels to the power dynamic. And also, it's alleged that Lizzo has a preference for people who basically are yes men. And if you know how it is in the dance industry, it's very difficult to get gigs. It's very difficult to retain a job. It's very difficult to just exist in that industry. So these poor women really wanted to keep their jobs. They really wanted to keep their jobs. These poor people, just, they needed the paycheck, because we live in a capitalist society. But like, they needed their money. And apart from this, there were other instances. Oh shit. I'm gonna have to come back. I'm getting a phone call, so pause. So I'm back. I'm back. I got like a phone call, so I had to like pick that up. So if I'm not mistaken, I was basically talking about like the whole Lizzo situation. So there were other like instances of sexual harassment and sexual assault that happened with Lizzo and these former employees. And something else, like moving on, like I said, there were layers to this. There are layers to this lawsuit of things that Lizzo allegedly did. And another layer was apparently, so these people are like, yeah, Lizzo is theoretically, allegedly anti-black and racist. And one of these instances where this was shown was the way these women were treated by not just Lizzo, but also by her company, in terms of like compensation, and how they were paid, especially on off days and on off schedule days and whatnot. So when they're like giving 25% on days where they didn't have performances, while their counterparts, so people, were compensated 50% of what they were paid. And apparently, when these women called or like tried to make a complaint, they were told that they were being greedy and selfish and whatnot. And like, it's like, yo, but you're giving them other people 50%. You're giving them literally twice of what you're giving us. And that doesn't make sense, obviously. And also, apart from that, there's also an instance where Lizzo made these women to re-audition. Like, they had to re-audition. So again, once again, the dance industry is crazy. It's crazy difficult. And so these women had to re-audition to keep their jobs. And during one of these rehearsals, re-auditions and whatnot, Lizzo made them like perform for her and rehearse or whatnot, like do the routine for about 12 hours straight or something like that. That's what I read. Allegedly. So Lizzo made them do this for about 12 hours straight and whatnot. And it was so bad to the point where Lizzo didn't let them even use the bathroom. And one of these women, yeah, had to pee herself. And all she had on was a see-through dress. And it's just crazy to me that they had to go through all of this. And once again, it makes this it's extra, extra, extra horrific because of who Lizzo is. Lizzo is a plus-sized black woman. And not just any plus-sized black woman. She's a plus-sized black woman who is constantly in the public eye speaking up for marginalized group. But she is out here behind closed door marginalizing people. And it's just crazy. It's just very interesting to see this dynamic. And it also feeds like one of my very strong beliefs that a lot of these people don't actually want equality to begin with. They just really want to be in the position of the oppressor. They just really want to be able to oppress others. They don't care about being oppressed. They just want the ability to oppress others. They don't care about being treated like human beings. They don't want to be treated like human beings. They want to be given the chance to treat others like less of human beings. And Lizzo allegedly has proven all of this to be true, because it's like you belong to three marginalized groups simultaneously. You belong to three marginalized groups, but you're here oppressing, doing things to women who are also in those groups, really. And it's just like, wow, like you would expect better from Lizzo. You would expect better. And if you did expect better from her, honestly, you're not to blame. Like I get why you'd expect better from Lizzo. Like I understand why people expected better from her. But it's also like, wow. For me it's extra sad because it's like, wow, my thoughts on people, my thoughts on like human beings in general is pretty much being confirmed by Lizzo, because it's like, wow, this is absolutely crazy. So yeah, so a whole bunch of anti-blackness from her, allegedly, a whole bunch of sexual assault, and just like general bookie behavior. Apparently, Lizzo also like made her security personnel like lock one of these huns in a room, in a meeting room, and like seize her phone and go through her phone to like find the video that was recorded and whatnot. And it's just like, yo, honestly speaking, if everything that's on this thing, on this lawsuit, if it's true, Lizzo is a horrible person, and it's just very scary to me. And another part of this that's quite scary is the internet's reaction to this. You know, at first it was all like aha hee, like, you know, it was all like just, you know, like the internet will do what the internet does. But it's also now becoming worrying, because it's like, wait, why are you guys not like outraged? Because like I saw all the things that are allegedly happening, or like that's a long list of shit that no one should be let off the hook for. And like there are people making excuses for Lizzo and this and that. And like it's also a little bit worrying that the narrative, the conversation is mostly about Lizzo, who she is, and this and that, how this would affect, and it's not a lot about the victims. Because not a lot of people are talking about the abuse that these people have faced. Like not a lot of people are talking about like how the sexual harassment happened, how the racism happened. Most people are just talking about Lizzo. And I find that to be very weird, because it's like, yo guys, let's focus on what needs to be focused on. And of course it's all alleged. It's nothing is confirmed yet. Let the courts do what the court's gonna do. But at the same time, like, why are we worried about Lizzo and not worried about her alleged victims? Because the things that Lizzo did are quite scary, to be honest. I wouldn't want to go through that. At the very least, I personally wouldn't want to go through that. And it's just very interesting. And it's also very interesting seeing people use this opportunity as a haha ihi moment. Like there's a whole bunch of videos that are pretty much jokes about the situation, and yes, I get it. It's the internet will internet. The internet will do what the internet does. But it's also a little bit like, wow, guys, let's take this seriously because this is very concerning. This is very, yeah, this is very concerning. Like, this is not something, if it is true, of course, this is not something we should let, celebrities get away with. Like, Lizzo should not get away with all of these things if she actually did do them. And, like, honestly, evidence is pointing towards she did do them because, like, 5 people have come out in the span of, like, 24 hours, less than 24 hours. So it's like, yeah, 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 it's looking peak. It's looking peak. And it's also very interesting as well because, like I said earlier in this episode, I think I said it. I don't know. Maybe it was this one, but like I said, this is pretty much the first time I personally have seen, you know, I've seen a woman in this position of the lawsuit being the aggressor and not the victim. And I think it's very interesting also observing how that is affecting the narrative going on the internet, the narrative going on in regards to like the case. It's very different from like other cases that I've seen brought up against celebrities because Lizzo's a woman. The reaction that I've seen men have has been very interesting actually because niggas are nowhere to be found. It's kind of worrying. But like I've seen discourse from men, but like okay, maybe it's because of the people that I kind of see on my FYP. But the men that I've seen have discourse about this situation with Lizzo have pretty much had the same type of discourse in regards to other main male aggressors. So their stance hasn't really changed. But really, what has been interesting in terms of like what I've seen on social media, or like at least my part of social media, is the narrative that has been the reaction that I've seen from women, and it's been very different compared to the reaction that I've seen in the past when the aggressor was a male, and it's just very interesting to observe the dynamic. Like I know it's kind of it's kind of weird to like use this as a social study, as a study on society. But I really think everything is a study on society. It's just always interesting to observe how people interact and how people react to situations. And it's just been very interesting so far seeing the reaction. Because Lizzo is a woman. And again, everything is alleged that I've said in this episode. And fingers crossed, fingers crossed, the victims get justice if all that is claimed is true. I really hope they get their justice, they get, their reparations, they get what they need to heal and move on. And I hope Lizzo also gets punished if she did do all of them things. And all in all, fingers crossed, hopefully justice will prevail and hopefully the system would actually work. The system would actually work. Fingers crossed on that. But with that being said, I got a phone call, and that phone call is basically telling me that I gotta go somewhere. So I'll see you guys next week. So I will not be adding songs to the playlist anymore. Like I said a couple episodes ago, I would only do that when I have guests on. I'm not adding one this week because like the playlist is like 30 songs deep. So I don't think there's any need to like keep adding on every week. I have guests coming soon. I was supposed to have a guest today, actually for the first episode. That was the plan, but shit happened. How it be. So we had to like reschedule and whatnot. So with that being said, you know where you've been. You know what this has been. You know who I am. This has been the Back of the Class Show. Welcome to season 2. And before you dip, once again, subscribe to the notification bells, leave a comment, leave a like, interact with me, interact with the episode, interact with the socials, and follow the socials at Back OT Class Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and follow me personally at Danny_the creator on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And like always, I love every one of you, and thanks very, very, very much for the support. Thank you for like tuning in again in this new season, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye.